Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet you all according to your time and locations. You will be watching this video. Yes, my dear viewers, I am back again with another update. So guys, I have a video here I would like we all to watch. But before then, if you're missing my channel for the very first time, you're highly welcome. Please kindly do well to like, share and subscribe. Leave your thought on the comment section. Let us know what you think about this video and I will see you towards the end.
Human rights lawyer Belumi Olajengbesi has faulted the continued detention of Abdulrasheed Bawa, the suspended chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Bawa was suspended by President Tinubu on June 14 on account of weighty allegations of abuse of office leveled against him. His suspension was to allow for proper investigation of the allegations. Since then, he has been in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS. Reports say the DSS obtained a court order to detain Bawa for 2 more weeks, which has since elapsed. In a statement, Olajengbesi says the continued detention of Bawa amounts to a violation of his fundamental human rights. He then wants the DSS to release Bawa without further delay or charge him to court to face charges preferred against him. He says anything else is alien to law. Bawa is the second high-profile official in DSS custody. The Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele, who was also suspended by the president, has been in DSS custody since June 10. Let's bring in the rise analyst Frank Chete for the legal perspectives to this situation. Frank, thank you for joining us on Newsnight.
My pleasure.
Good to see you.
Bawa from the EFCC, Godwin Emefiele from the CBN being in the DSS custody on the order of President Tinubu. Where do we... you shook your head. Where do we draw the line between human rights, fundamental human rights, and of course what they deserve? They are just desserts.
I think first, I shuddered because I thought, well, did the president order their detention? Would the president do such a thing? He's supposed to be a progressive. I'm talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If a former military general was president in the person of President Muhammad Buhari, refusing court orders, refusing to comply to the letters and spirits of the Constitution and the various laws guiding criminal prosecution, one will understand that he's still struggling with some militaristic culture that is yet to shake off. But for a progressive-minded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, supervise the disregard of the right of a Nigerian citizen. These are Nigerian citizens. Forget whether they are high-profile fellows like the chairman of the EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawa, or the suspended chairman of the Central Bank of Nigeria. These are citizens of Nigeria. They are entitled to the basic rights that every Nigerian is supposed to get. So if you look at, because we have thrived more in the breach of constitutional standards in this country, with grave consequences to our economy and socio-political life, because over the years we think that these things are just mere, disregard for these standards. You see, the bad thing about it is that they have very serious consequences when you don't apply the rules. And then you are now trying to make Abdulrasheed Bawa and Godwin Emefiele look like now persons who have been persecuted for the political positions, views that they held. Because when after a period of 24 hours you are unable to expressly state the offenses against them and support it with ingredients, facts that support the allegations, it means that you are actually persecuting them, you are witch hunting them for the views that they held before now.
Well, I mean,
that's not good for the personality of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Right, and let's even go further as far as the optics, are concerned. The fact that the former, the EFCC boss, the anti-corruption czar, and central bank governor are in detention. What are the optics, really, especially for the international community?
Bad, very bad. When you say optics, I prefer to say signals.
Right.
Because
signals.
the idea is this. they clearly, I don't want to sound like a broken record. These persons were doing their job at the way they were convinced. You may not like the policies that Godwin Emefiele administered when he was governor of Central Bank, but especially it was clear to all Nigerians and to all political players that the Naira redesign policy, for example, was perceived, especially by the now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to be against him. But you don't personalize state power. You don't go on a vindictive vendetta against perceived political foes. If Godwin Emefiele has committed any financial infraction or offended any law, then let the criminal process take place. Don't just arrest him and keep him and then go around fishing, looking for how to justify why keeping him or how to prosecute him.
Yeah, well, the federal government is saying, look, ongoing investigations of his office and the planned reforms in
You don't keep him in detention. You see, let's be fair. Let's be fair to our laws. You know, Section 293 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act does give the right to any prosecutorial agency to approach the magistrate court to remand a suspect for 14 days. It's renewable for another 14 days. And then after the expiration of 28 days, the court on its own can now ask questions, especially summon the Inspector General of Police or the Attorney General of Federation, which we don't have now, and ask why is such a person after 28 days is still in detention. And if the Inspector General of Police does make any kind of representation, the court may now for a final time grant them another 14 days to keep the person. So in our country, by one kind of strange provision of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, you can actually keep a suspect for up to 56 days. However, the constitutional provision is that so when you arrest anybody on reasonable suspicion of having committed an offense, take the person to court within 24 hours. Now, well, in exceptional cases, in 2 days. Now, the trouble here is that you don't go after a Godwin Emefiele whom you have said to have, committed some infraction somewhat back in 2022, around December, and then you have him arrested because there is a new sheriff in town, and you are talking about 14 days, 20 days on. You are still unable to arraign him in court. So what it means, the bad signal it sends is this, that these men are politically being persecuted. They haven't committed any offense because you are unable to even, because in our country and by our constitution, the moment you arrest the person, you read the person's rights. Now, after reading the rights, you tell the person the grounds upon which you have carried out the arrest.
Well, only on paper. Nigerians can actually give you a long list of situations where courts would rule, but government
let me be honest with you. We think
totally deaf.
Let me tell you this: we lose a lot when we fail to adhere to those paper standards. We lose a lot. In his book, "Why Nations Fail," the point is that the difference in the terms of prosperity of certain Western countries as against their neighbors, whether in Latin America or even in Africa, is the fact that they are holding on to standards of human rights.
Okay,
so
now,
it affects your economy. It affects your general financial rating. When you're talking about foreign direct investment, your country is not seen as a destination that obeys minimum standards of your citizens' rights.
Okay, talking about standards, let's take a break from the CBN, the suspended CBN governor's arrest or detention. Now, let's look at the EFCC chairman, Rashid Bawa. If the anti-graft agency's egghead is being put through this, what does it say about our commitment to fighting corruption?
Terrible. And interestingly, well, let me be honest with you, so that you know where I stand in terms of my nuances. I respect Abdul Rashid Bawa because of the kind of transformations he brought to EFCC, particularly as a human rights lawyer, the respect and regard he had for the rule of law. That's for me as a person. So I saw a situation where this precedent that is starting now, when you go after the principal anti-corruption official in the country because of perceived political vendetta, it's terrible.
Conversely, Frank Tete, sorry. Conversely, on the other hand, some could say, okay, this signals that nobody really is above the law.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Wait a minute. We are talking about an Abdul Rashid Bawa who has placed several outgoing governors under his watch list to be properly to be investigated and possibly prosecuted. And then you come into office, the first person you go after is the man who has all these guys on his list. These are the persons who have been, bringing up all sort of, market hogwash accusations against Abdul Rashid Bawa. Good. If you have anything against him, we play Nigerians. Bring it forward. We see a situation. Why can't you just simply address the press? List it. Look, no trial in Nigeria, except for on exceptional basis. All trials in Nigeria must be in public. So let me tell you something. When you delay trial, it means that you are hiding something. Because in course of trial is not just about justice, it's also about truth. Because you hear, bring Emefiele on trial and see the kind of things you hear. Bring Abdul Rashid, if you ever have anything against Abdul Rashid Bawa, bring him on trial and you hear things. Come and substantiate whatever you have against him. Let me tell you something. Right. That somebody operated as an official of government does not mean you should punish him for everything you didn't like about that government, because government is very big. You don't know how decisions come about, especially when you have a former president that is shielded from executive orders and presidential directives that he gave, and then you begin to look for scapegoats to deal with. Why don't you allow some measure of transparency, right, and let's know what the truth is. So what did Abdul Rashid Bawa do? In fact,
what did Abdul Rashid Bawa do? That's a $1 million
and
question.
Again, let me tell you, Frank, a very, very bad signal that when you now become an anti-corruption leader, either as the head of EFCC, you now become careful. You are now afraid of political witch hunting that will come after you.
Because the same thing has happened to previous EFCC
Frank,
bosses.
I think
all the way. I
think that's a good caption right there from Frank. What did Abdul Rashid Bawa do? What did Godwill
you may not like Emefiele, but he's entitled to his rights as a plain citizen of Nigeria.
We'll have to
what did Godwill Emefiele do? What did Abdul Rashid Bawa do? Thank you, Frank Tete, for joining us on Newsline.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. What do you think about this video? Please kindly drop your opinion down below. I'll see you in my next one. Bye for now.